Sorry, this is not recorded actually. Just you can plan it for. Just I'm going to repeating this again. We talked about the previous class before the new year, before this year, in the last December last week. We talked about IP address concept, how to create a VNet, how to create a subnet, how to verify the IP address from the subnet, how to create. We created a VMs of each subnet and verify the network connections, and how to create a multiple subnet within VNet and verify the connection between two subnet in the same VNet and reserved IP address. We all basic network we discussed, right? Which is this diagram. So we also talked about how do we do that is in connecting between the two VNet and what would be the process, right? This is what discussion. We supposed to talk about the actual practical for the multiple subnet and we stop the class, right? This area we discussed. We created a VNet. We created a VNet. We created a subnet. Another subnet we created, and we created one VM on this subnet and other VM this subnet, and we verified that is in both the VM are connecting each other with the help of by default routing has been created within that VNet. And just default it was turning, that firewall was on, so we need to turn off the connecting between these two VM. And to understand that, routing part was done within the VNet. But when you created a VNet, another VNet for the different, VNet, another VNet, right? And then you create another VM on this VNet, try to access to this subnet VM, it won't be able to connect. So that routing was not done, but you need to connecting between the two VNet from other subnet, you would need to configure the topic called as a network peering. We're supposed to talk about this and we stop the class. And we would be talking about this week network peering. How to configure network peering. And we'll talk about some network security. Good to go? Anyone has any question before I start this topic? I hope you're done for the lab practice. Right? Okay. So let's begin this. Let me just log into my portal. Hope everyone are ready with your subscription, free subscription or pay as you go subscription.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So let me just log into my portal.azure.com. Who is Srinath here in this batch? Someone asking me.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, Srinath, you asked me the RDC connection manager, right?
Yeah. So if suppose like I'm using like my laptop is like it's in another domain, so will it be allow the RDC connection like to use?
Another domain means what? You need to access that machine.
No. Actually, yesterday actually I tried to practice the lab, and actually I was using that RDC connection, and in that RDC connection, there is one option is there like connect to the server.
Correct.
That machine name like that whichever like VM we have created virtual machines, we need to copy that machine name and paste it in that RDC connection server, right? And if I'm trying to connect, then it will ask for a password.
You are doing the lab or you are in office network?
No, in the lab.
Yeah, then you would be able to access. Doesn't matter which domain, but you have taken the public APIs, you would be able to access. Where is the lab you deployed? Cloud only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you would be able to. You want to share the screen?
Yeah, sure. I'll share my
Okay.
screen.
Meanwhile, I'll log in this and you can just share the screen.
Sure.
I'll allow it. Let me allow just.
Neil, actually, yesterday I have created that virtual machine, but I have deleted that resources yesterday only. Yeah. Once this class is over, I will create the resources again and I'll connect with you.
Yeah, sorry, let me stop my screen share.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, like once this class is over, I'll connect with you because
Okay,
I
okay.
deleted the
Okay.
resources yesterday only.
Oh, okay, no worries. Okay, let me share my screen. All right, let me log in my this. One, two, double, 0, 5, 0. There's no restriction for your lab to just have a take the public IP address. You need to connect the server, no matter which domain it is. Doesn't matter for that.
Okay. Actually, I tried connect with the other users, and in the other user, I put the username as that public IP address and password as,
Correct,
yeah,
correct, correct. Public IP address only you need to take, and I need to.
password which you have give to that visual machine
You are
when.
also part of Windows Server batch or what?
No, no, I'm only
Or
part of.
just for connecting this? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. For the lab. Okay.
Yes.
You're talking about this one only, right? This RDC.
RDC, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm back. So we have the service called virtual network. We need to create a virtual network. VNet. First, we need to create a VNet. To any service you are going to create, you would need to have a subscription, resource group, and region. So these are the mandatory things you need to be selected. So I have created already whatever created the resource group. I'm going to creating a new resource group here, and I'll create for here RG underscore virtual network. And this resource group can be used for any resource you are going to use, no matter how many VNet you are going to create it, no matter how many subnet you are going to create it, all can be associated with the same resource group. And while removing, while deleting, it would help us to, you can directly remove this resource group, but then it would help us to remove all the services, all the resources which we have created. And this time I'm going to creating VNet 1, and the region is Central US. Next, IP addresses would be, the first one is you have taken for 10.0.0.0.16. This is part of Central US. So I can take the keep default one. So if you wanted to change, you can change it. And this is /16. And in this, we are going to use for subnetting. You can rename it. Instead of the default, I can make it a subnet 1. And this subnet 1 would be using for my 1.0/24. Save and go next. And just keep as it default everything. And I created for the subnet VNet 1 and Central US created subnet 1. I would be creating for one VM on the subnet 1. I will not going to creating another subnet because we already tested. So straightforward, I'm going to creating another VNet. Now here, when you talk about the network peering, we have the two type of network peering. One is local peering, local or remote peering. Second one is global peering. So local or remote peering means both the VNets are same region. So now I have created for the VNet 1 Central US and VNet 2 also you are going to creating central US, the region. But global peering means another VNet in different region. If VNet you created, that VNet is in different region, and that region we call as a global peering. So if you created VNet 3 in central India, it's a different region. VNet 1 is central US and VNet 3 you are central India. So you wanted to connect between these two VNet 1 and 3, and that peering we call as a global peering. So it's a processing is the same, configuration is same. The only is the definition is changed. When do we call as the local peering and when you call as a global peering? Okay. So first we will be creating a two VNet in the same region. So one VNet I have created already for in central US, and another VNet I'm going to creating same region. We'll create another subnet, and we'll try to build a two VM between these two. One subnet, one VM, and other VNet is another subnet, another VM will going to create it. I'll be using for the 190 to 168 range of another VNet. Okay, let it process. It will take few seconds to deploy for the VNet one. Okay, it's completed now. You can see, go to resource, created VNet one, created a subnet one. So when you build a machine on this, the before we creating another VNet, let's build a one machine here. You need to go to virtual machine service called. Okay, create virtual machine. Again, I'm going to selecting the same resource group, and the VM1 region is central US. I don't need availability zone. This topic we would be talking about later when we're discussing of the virtual machine service topic. I'm just going to quickly build a VM for this. Srinath, you see this is a username and password when you're going to build a VM.
Yes.
And this username you need to provide and this password you need to provide. If you
Okay.
forget the password, you would be able to reset the password later as well.
Yeah. Okay. Once we created this VM, so later can we view this username also, right? Like.
Yeah, this user can be used, but if you forget, username should be the same. Password, if you forget, you can reset the password.
Okay. Okay.
Let me show you this.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll create the which VM again. Then yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I'll be able
Okay.
to know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this VM should be part of my VNet 1 virtual network and subnet 1.0, and this is machine is going to belongs to under the VNet 1 and subnet. Okay, first creating a subnet. Each VNet will be going to do this and we'll be creating VM, right? So we'll process this one. Let's complete this few seconds. You guys are parallelly doing the lab, or after completion of doing this class you are doing?